February 20th, Capital Committee meeting. I think we should pledge allegiance to the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, so I'll start. I don't even have the meeting minutes. I don't have anything distributed. My laptop crashed. It had the blue screen, and I do have most of the capital items on the spreadsheet, but it's with my IT department, so hopefully I'll get it back tomorrow and I can distribute everything to everybody. Other than that, I have really nothing to hand out or to go over with anybody because I don't have anything. I'm trying to work off my phone. So I don't know where we go from that.
I think Mary Beth and I can probably touch on free cash.
Exactly.
That would be the capital
Okay.
ballpark of the plan.
Okay.
Yep. So,
If we could also touch on some deliverable dates for the finance committee and stuff like that, what everybody's
Yeah.
expecting and everything.
I'll start with the free
Yeah.
cash. So free cash this year came in at $2,234,345. One thing I want to do right off the top, and I had talked about this before, is I want at least 10% to go to capital stabilization fund, not to be used this year. I want that done every year off the top before we do anything.
Agreed.
I'd also like to take 10% from the remaining and put it into the stabilization fund as a contribution. I don't want to use free cash. We don't want to use free cash to close the budget. Although I do think that an idea that one of the selectmen have, Sean Kane, is to use, take the OPEB money that we do have in the budget, and that's our annual contribution that we put to that. It was meals tax. The meals tax has gone up way above 140, but we've done 140 consistently. We need to keep doing that for our Moody's rating and, for our auditors to show that we're consistently putting towards our liability. But using $140,000 out of free cash for our OPEB contribution and possibly $200,000 towards our retirement pension. After that, that would still leave $1.4 million. I have gotten a couple of articles in. One is an OPEB valuation that we have to do every 2 years, and that's $8,400. And I do know that Bruce Martin had sent an email for the TIPS project that he wants to, and that was cut last year. That amount was reduced, I do believe.
Do we know what the amount would be for
He
this
doesn't.
year?
He'll know that next week.
Okay.
But that could be, $200-300 maybe.
It was 300,000 last year when we cut it, so I imagine it's going to be in that neighborhood.
I just threw $350 in
Yeah.
because he doesn't know. I asked him, "Can you give me a ballpark?" And
For the record, what is the acronym TIPS projects for?
It's the South Avenue corridor, that huge improvement they came in and
Okay.
just presented.
Transportation improvement, something program,
Something like that.
something like that.
the
Yeah.
East End across South Ave down by across from the T in that area, the sidewalks and everything there, really improving that area. And we're supposed to come up with so much money for 5 years or so for the project, and we want to make sure that we have that money there to move forward. And last year we fell off of the amount that we had earmarked. We didn't really make that because of the way the budget was last year. So I want to make sure that we are on track and don't want to lose the opportunity because it's huge.
It's
But
a
we
federal
became
grant administered by the state. I actually think the awards are granted out of the Old Colony Planning Council for our area, and right now we have 2 of the voting members on that board.
Let's
So-
hope it's already locked in on the funding on the
I
federal side.
believe the money is in the state bank right now, but that is a very good point.
right.
So this is the time to strike to get a big project
Sure,
like this.
sure.
A couple of other articles that I plan to put on that involve money is a treasurer collector consultant and accountant consultant. We have them in now, but there's still more work to be done in the treasurer collector's office, and keeping John Adams on 1 day a week just through December, so that he's there with an accountant that came from the private sector for a full year cycle for the big things that he has to, that you'll have to
I
do.
thought we're gonna ask for him through October. December's even, yeah.
Yeah, just through, he said, he'll come up with a contract through December 31st. And she started the first week of January. So then she will have been with him to go through all the major filings and Schedule A, closing the books and all of that.
And that's Wendy Kavici? Is that
That's Wendy
He's
Kavic.
familiar with SoftWrite?
John Adams. Well, that's the main thing that he brought up yesterday, and we know it. So that's a huge ticket item that we need to seriously think about, as well as a pumper engine. We need a new fire truck, $1.5 million. We need a new financial system, and that is. There aren't many players out there. Tyler Technologies is the biggest one out there. It's not cheap. We haven't looked at it in a few years, but our system is not end of life. It's beyond end of life. One thing we got noted in our audit last year was our chart of accounts needs to be revamped. And I've discussed that with John Adams, and he said, you can't on this system. Like, just wait until you get a new system. And he said, where is that, Maribeth? Is it on the horizon? And I said, because of the money, no, but it needs to be. We need to start putting some of this money away so that we're in a situation where we can seriously address that. That's a big ticket item that's looming out there. And there is a grant every 2
They'll
years.
be eligible for a community compact
The
grant.
Community Compact Grant, a couple $100,000, and that would greatly help.
That would be about a fifth of what it's going to
Exactly,
be.
exactly. But there aren't even many players in the space. There's Vadar. There's very few now left.
We could go
It's
to
almost
the
a monopoly.
modern SoftWrite, which you'd think would be an easier transition, probably cheaper on us, but
We could.
we'd be locked in there with the same.
And I
Oh,
think the,
Springbrook has updated its offer.
There's a new cloud-based
there is a new,
that Duxbury uses. Trying to think back, accountants. Who was it?
the cloud version,
Yeah.
well, that's just the cloud version of Springbrook Norwell has.
Yeah.
But that's not the other system that they've come out with.
Okay.
The auditors told me that about 95% of the municipalities use Tyler Technologies. 95%,
Yeah,
It's just
they definitely have a lock on the market.
without a doubt.
But it is as versatile as it is. It's a really complicated system.
Yeah.
And any transition you make, you're going to have to plan some money for training.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's going to be a brutal transition to that one.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What do
And
you use now?
we have SoftWrite. And we have it fully integrated with the accountant's office, the collector's office, and the treasurer's office. So it's great.
Does
And
the
it's-
district also use SoftWrite?
They actually put in Tyler Technologies. They had that when they had their breach. Then they kind of went away from that for a while, and they were writing
back
checks.
though, right?
They're back now with that.
Will the two softwares talk to each other?
No,
That's a big problem.
you can import and export, and you can map and convert, but they're not going to run side by side.
You mean the district software and ours
yeah.
software?
I can tell you that
I don't. They would.
I was here when we were the second town to start SoftWrite use. We had a DOS-based system called FreedomWare. These two kids came by and said, "We have a better mouse." They waived any fee to become a customer. They just transitioned, and that's why we did. And it was an improvement over what we had, but it's a really clumsy, clinky system, and I used it a lot when I was here, and I've had problems for the last 2 weeks trying to get information I needed out of it, and wound up on a conference call with
I saw that today.
Steve in technology and the vendor to try and figure out. And then for some reason, nobody did anything and it worked. Nobody did anything, and I was able to pull the report.
The reason I asked the question is because we're going to be meeting with George, and so should we have these conversations and try to sync up and get the same software so that
We tried to get into what's it called? Munis. Tyler Technology owns a product called Munis.
Right, that's what they have.
The region
Yes.
has Munis. We proposed being an adjacent customer. Since the schools are part of the town and the town is part of the schools, we felt that we could come in as a sibling. At one time, they entertained it, but they wanted
I was
$350,000
gonna say, it was a lot of
to
money.
sign up, and we just didn't have the money.
Actually seems like a bargain right now.
Right, it's gonna be a lot more than that now,
Yeah.
like we found with other DPW and
So
other.
I don't see the region changing away from munis,
No.
and at some point we're going to have to bite the bullet because the integrity of our systems is at risk, and that's something you can't negotiate over when you have to be able to be credible in the marketplace, bond, satisfy the citizens that their money is being handled properly, and being able to ensure that the checks and balances are in place, which we can't do right now.
Well, the system is still a good system,
Yeah.
and it works well for us, and I don't feel that it's,
Well, I'm saying we can't because of the unfamiliarity of the key players in the system. The accountant, the
assessor, treasurer, collector.
assessor, treasurer,
Yeah.
collector. It's not a pretty picture.
We've changed over all of our financial offices. They're all working with the equivalent of like Windows 98 for financial software. It's,
And
yeah.
in fact,
time.
the
It's
assessors
time.
changed to another software platform,
Yeah.
which made using SoftWrite even more difficult for them. And it's an accounting system. It has payroll, it has accounting, you can write checks through it, and they're basically integrated within the system. But if you bring anything in, what you're doing is you're creating an export file, which is either text delimited or
Right.
character delimited, and then you're importing it. And the risk you have when you do that is making sure that you map all the fields, or you garbage in, garbage out.
Well,
It's just
I don't
time.
over talk about this one topic because I'm not the one inputting the data or
Yeah.
retrieving the data. So I leave that up to the people that are doing it.
But I would argue
So
this
like
is
the
a
software
capital
one.
expense
But
that
I
we have
think-
to look at.
I think seeing how the district is 70% of our levy basically, or our operating cost, whether it be capital or operating cost, it would just make sense, But again, I'm not the one inputting the data and retrieving the data and working with the data.
Right. It's just a big capital item that we have to keep in the
Yeah.
forefront now. It's not like someday, it's someday is here.
Probably,
days-
yeah.
the days
We'll
are
have
moving.
a compact grant next year someday.
Right, that's what I
Yeah.
mean, really. It's time. It's time. And then we gotta have a healthy free cash, even with the items that we wanted to earmark for savings and whatnot this year. So I just throw a few items on this spreadsheet quickly, Todd's items that he had for capital, and the fire chief sent me today that he wants a new vehicle, a shift commander vehicle, 95,000. Have you received? Is that one of the items he had? And
He sent
Yeah.
it to my
That was,
he sent stuff to my personal email, my Yahoo account that he never uses my
town
town email. I don't know why.
and the cardiac and automated defibrillators.
yeah.
That was 213, 228.
If you can forward that to me.
The email from him today, yeah, because I was asking for articles. So articles are due next Tuesday by 7:00, 7:30. So once I get in all the articles, I'll throw them on my spreadsheet to see where we are. But I was hoping that we could do the same thing that we did last year and get a spreadsheet together here and prioritize it. So we can take the ones, that are most important, and, we're not going to get to everything. The fire chief did send me an article for a pumper truck for $1.5 million. So, I don't think
Should
that's.
we send something out to the schools so they can send their capitals in too? Because
I think they got those original emails. Was there any contact with them?
Nobody has reached out back to me.
After our last meeting, you reached out?
Yep.
Really?
I just don't want to go through what we did last year, where we had all the capitals from the town then, and then we didn't get the schools till very late, and then we had to go back to the board and start eliminating.
When did we get the schools? Like, May?
It was late, yeah.
it was like a week before we had.
But it didn't have the backup, so we didn't have recommendations, and
Right.
Yeah.
that was messy, and I don't want that this
We had
year.
like 3 or 4 meetings that we really didn't have to have.
Yeah, if you can reach out to them also.
Who would you like me to reach out to? I mean, I can reach out to
I'd
Jeff.
say George.
George?
Oh, Jeff and George.
I will.
Copy
Yeah.
me about it.
Okay.
Okay.
So that's it on capital.
So do you have Josh's?
I don't have him just on this list here.
Okay.
I just-
Josh didn't submit any capital.
Oh, he's not, that's right.
We used the bulk of the ARPA that was remaining at the end of the year.
Okay.
For
Right. He's not putting any in, but police. We received a few items.
Todd, fire, not in the district really.
Right.
Yeah, DPW,
DPW.
with any.
We'll put the chapter 90, the normal article we
We'll
always
have
do.
to backfill the snow and ice. We're going to deficit spend this year.
We already got that letter yesterday. Right now, they're 16.6 or whatever in the red. They have a huge order of salt that they just placed, but they haven't gotten the invoice for that. And they have 30 days on the calendar left of winter, so God knows what we'll have for costs for snow.
It's
So
like
yes,
Warm up.
Yeah.
They've done a good job with the salting, so.
It's been
Yeah.
a cold winter.
Oh, it's brutal. Brutal.
Now, when I saw your Facebook, I was like, God bless them out there freezing.
Do we want to have either the police chief or Bruce at our next meetings? Do we want?
I think we should go over everything ourselves first, and then we'll have our format questions.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
I think that's the best way to do it. If we can get them all, just go through them as a committee.
Right.
Then we'll form our questions. We'll push our questions out to them so they're prepared to speak. At least that way, they won't come to
Rather put them on the
attention.
spot.
Yeah.
As much as I hate to say it, I should note we're already a month behind.
Yeah.
Selectmen should have had our information February 1st.
Yeah. So we probably need 2 meetings in March, one to get our stuff in a row, end of March to have whatever department heads we want to speak to.
Okay.
And then you'll probably want to meet with the FinCom at the beginning of April, right?
Yeah. We can do
Town
that.
meeting.
Oh, absolutely.
Ideally, early April would be
Yeah.
good for
Right.
FinCom because I hate playing
Right,
tag at
because
the
they'll
end
need
of
to
it.
be voting by that point.
Right.
So if we bring up,
Actually, it's a good time for Kathleen to come back in. So if this committee meets twice in March, early March to sort out the articles, mid-March to hear from department heads that we want to question any of their requests, and then Dawn should be ready to talk to the finance committee
April.
the beginning of April.
Okay.
That I imagine would still give you enough time, but you'll probably have the warrant and be voting by that point.
So our capital committee invitation, which I don't think I've extended yet, is currently scheduled with the finance committee on April 1st.
Oh, that's perfect.
That's perfect.
So I will send the email invitation to you, Dawn,
okay,
and I'm gonna.
April 1st, you said?
Yep,
I believe I'm in Aruba. So please send me the invitation.
I will.
I'm in Aruba the 29th until the 5th. So the end of March to first
How
week.
dare you have a life?
I know.
So should I proactively just move you to April 8th?
Please.
Us to April 8th?
Yeah,
Okay.
Still gives you a month-ish to town meeting.
yeah.
But if we could have some information prior to April 8th, so that the committee members could read what we come up with. We're going to meet twice in March, right? Did we set dates yet?
Yep. No.
No, I don't think we did.
Let's see. So. Today's the 20th. can we do the 6th and the 20th? Is that open for everybody?
It works for me.
Yep.
5:30, not 8 a.m. You're never gonna.
I'm like, wow, I don't know about
Yeah,
that.
you never answered my email.
What email?
The one that I wrote in 88 bold, 8 a.m. question mark.
Okay, so I have this,
The 6th, and what else do we say?
The 20th.
and then 3. Just let me insert this into my spreadsheet. 3,
I'm writing February to March. It's
Can
amazing how fast this goes.
anybody with a PC or a laptop,
Yep.
can you push it out and include also, right?
Yep. Yeah, Steve Boyce
Yeah, Steve Boyce,
and George.
and I guess George.
That's right, Steve's the
That's
captain.
right.
Could someone other
I
than
think
I
for some
volunteer
reason, I
to
think
I
he
can
was
give it a
right.
try.
We had a previous email.
Well, I'm sure he's got his hands full in Boston right now.
Well, yeah,
Oh,
it looked like he had some
yeah.
time off. I mean,
Who's that?
That was awful.
Voice.
You come into work and they tell you, oh, you're
Yeah.
closed.
I know. They were
But then they opened again.
ushering people.
I had no idea they were charging people to go into the museum.
Oh, I figured they were.
They are, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah.
that just doesn't seem right.
I've got tentative training down at a US DOT facility March 13th that week that I am not sure anyone's going to work there when I get there. Several of them were laid off on Friday. My flight's booked.
I'm biting my tongue. I'm,
Is it
you know,
possible?
this isn't the venue.
He's moving fast and furious, isn't he?
Scary.
What's the destination is the question.
It's scary. We'll see how it all shakes out.
Yep.
All right.
Well, I can't believe it's going to help the economy when we have 1 million people at work.
Frank, you have a town email again, right?
I do.
Okay, I can send the invite there. Actually, don't have everyone's emails in this, but once I do,
We actually rely on the town calendar to remind me of what I'm supposed to be doing.
There should be a group. Just
There should be, but it has to be created
yeah,
with new names.
yes.
But George and Mr. Boyce on them.
yeah, the last one I got the group on was the 5th, and they're not on it.
Yeah.
Don't be concerned if I reject the invite. It just means I don't like it twice on my calendar.
It's fair.
Frank, I don't have anything from you. You know, Josh was the one that pushed that meeting out.
I didn't get it for the
No,
for
I just
tonight.
responded to your notice of the email for 8 a.m.
You did?
I did.
I bet you Josh got it, because Josh was the one that pushed it.
Okay. Okay, and capital committee and 3-6. 320.
What dates did we say?
I believe
The 6th.
6th and the 20th.
6th and 20th, that's what I have.
Okay, I sent the email to Jeff and George, so
Can you copy me on that?
I did.
Okay, thank you.
I did, yeah.
Okay, I got it.
I asked him for corresponding backup for any articles.
I think I have a significant packet of paperwork from the schools. That's the only thing that I have a physical copy of.
Where are they at for numbers? Kathleen, do you know?
I honestly don't know. It's
You got articles? You received articles?
this sort of, we want the sun, the moon, and the stars is no total.
I remember. Yeah,
It takes,
that was I grabbed that from a schools capital subcommittee meeting.
Oh, they didn't send it to us.
no,
Okay, I didn't think I received anything yet.
this
Okay,
is an unofficial communication.
Right.
But
okay.
if
They did vote to send all those to us.
But
They didn't vote when to send it.
Yeah.
ASAP.
do you see a dollar amount in total?
Some of them, the answer is yes, and some of them, the answer is no.
Oh,
I'll be happy to generate a copy of this and get it to you, Mary Beth.
yeah, that'd be great. And I'll just kind of throw in some numbers and see.
Circling back on that tips thing that we talked about, is there a plan that they're looking to adhere to or go by?
Yes,
Yes.
they had a design.
They do have a
Yeah.
design?
Yeah.
It was presented here 5-6 months ago. Remember one night they came in and they showed the outline on the screen, and they talked about it's going to create a walking area.
Nice. There's a lot of dead area right there.
Yeah,
Can I
and
ask
that's
what we're talking about? Like, what's the title of this topic?
The South Ave corridor.
Oh.
South Ave
Okay.
corridor improvement.
Yeah.
I'm sure I have a PDF of it, and I will forward it to you.
Okay. It would be great for the town to beautify that.
I think it'd be fantastic.
It would be great.
Also,
You know, that side
Right
of
off
town
the
is
beat,
not
that'd be
even,
beautiful.
they don't even pay attention to it. It's like it isn't there.
and I did have somebody reach out now that the MBTA is passed in Whitman on the 66 Pond Street, putting in 140
Right.
units,
Houses, yeah.
houses down there.
Who's doing single families?
No, it would be 2 and 3 bedroom apartments.
Oh, condos?
Yep.
Apartments. I think there were apartments, actually.
Well, they've gone back and forth with a few different
Yeah.
plans. At first, it
Who's
was
the
going to be a lot
developer?
more. That would be RT Meta. She's the owner of that property, and she has a gentleman by the name of Jack Hunter, a consultant that has worked in many towns on developments. That's really a good spot in Whitman for that, especially with the MBTA and then with the tips and then what improvements they would do for, Pond Street, which needs some.
Yeah, it would
some
be a
work.
vast improvement to the area. The building is in danger of collapse, and I know a condemnation order was put in for at least part of it. And when we thought it was bleakest, that's when there was suddenly interest in buying the building and developing the area. So kudos to that.
Yeah,
It's exciting.
it is. It's
And it meets
It
the
needs a
MBTA
facelift.
requirements.
Yeah.
Yes, all sorts of good things.
really needs a facelift, that area. Because it could be beautiful, you know?
Actually, there's a provision in the, I forget which law they passed. When the town develops that type of housing, we receive cash credit based on the proximity to the T.
So that's 40R.
40R,
The
thank
town
you.
just received a grant to develop a 40R overlay zone,
Yep.
kind of in that same area to hopefully catch those incentives as MBTA communities come in. You'll have to properties will have to meet both requirements. So hopefully we
Right.
can have loose enough 40R requirements that we catch all of the MBTA. We'll work with I think Gold Colony planning to do that.
What's the distance requirement for that from the stop
MBTA had a half-mile preference for a percentage of it.
for walking?
I forget what 40R's limit is, but it's a It's
It
not
was a
just the
mile,
train,
but I'm not
it's-
sure.
It's maybe a mile, but it also
Thought it was
includes concentrations of public buildings. So like the post office, town hall, the senior center will create another eligible zone up here.
But
It'll all be within that planned,
Yeah.
planned area.
the
Be a nice
tracks to the
improvement.
center, that can't even be a half mile. Is that a half mile?
What?
Probably right at
It's
the
about a mile.
Probably close to a mile.
center.
It was a mile from my house on
Close
Brigham
to a
Street,
mile.
so close to a
It's
mile.
close to a mile.
It is,
Is it
from the train station up to Washington Street is about a mile.
really?
I remember doing brisk walks when I worked here in the building and took the train into Boston.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Don, I just sent you the email from Bruce Martin just on, tips for a placeholder and what I got for article from Tim Clancy.
Okay. Excellent. Thank you.
So I'll forward those.
All right. So that's all I have. I apologize again. I did formulate some things on a spreadsheet, but like I said, my laptop crashed.
Best laid plans.
So are you entertaining a motion to adjourn?
I hear a motion on the floor.
Make a motion.
Second.
We got a second. All in favor? Motion to adjourn?
Aye.
Okay.
Go USA.